Return to Sender is a really unique indie shooter coming out made by developer Golden Wreath Games. He reached out to me on Twitter telling me about the game, and I really liked the concept of it and wanted to make a video. Return to Sender is a competitive Horde Mode shooter that was described as a mix of Wolfenstein 3D and Tetris, and that is the perfect description for the game. Return to Sender is in early playtesting phase right now, not even quite in early access, so there aren't a lot of features just yet. Some of the graphics and design menus are very basic, and there are some needed quality of life improvements that I'm sure will be included in a later version. There are two basic modes to Return to Sender, single player and multiplayer. Single player mode is a basic horde shooter. You pick one of two available maps and strafe around killing enemies. Killing enemies nets you currency, which could be used to buy new guns or more health. As the waves go on, the enemies get more plentiful and more difficult. Then there is multiplayer mode, which is the main attraction of Return to Sender. The multiplayer mode is a competitive mode where you play against one other person in a horde mode type scenario. Every enemy you kill is sent to your opponent. So the quicker you kill enemies, the more enemies are going to be sent to your opponent and the harder time they are going to have. Just like completing rows and sending blocks to your opponent in a game like Tetris or Puyo Puyo. And I think that is a brilliant combination of genres that I haven't seen before. I can't think of any other FPS with this concept. Gameplay wise, it feels almost exactly like Wolfenstein 3D. You move around really quick, you can't aim vertically, the game graphically looks very much like something from the early 90s, though there are some modern mechanics as well, like needing to reload your guns and the ability to dash. I felt like the shooting and movement felt really good. The game also has native controller support already, which is really cool. I prefer to play with a mouse and keyboard, but my brother, who was my multiplayer opponent, prefers to play games with a controller, and he had no issues playing with a controller. There are even some basic control settings, which let you remap keys and buttons and adjust your sensitivity. Though I wish the mouse sensitivity would go even lower than it was. I had to adjust my mouse's DPI outside the game to get it where I wanted. The guns you can purchase with your credits work exactly as you expect them to and include things like pistol, machine guns, shotguns, and rocket launchers. The better the gun, the more expensive they are, which adds a bit of strategy. Do you want to save up for the best gun and use a weaker gun until then? Or do you want to gradually buy better and better guns over a longer period of time? You can also use your credits to upgrade the enemies that are being sent to your opponent, or to buy health for yourself if you're getting low. As you send and get enemies sent to you, the game actually gets really frantic and chaotic as they spawn in from all over off the screen. Getting your bearings on where you are and paying attention to what's around you and the minimap is very important. Since there are only two maps, it won't take you very long to learn a map's layouts and where you can escape to, and where the best guns and health spots are. In a lot of ways, Return to Sender gives me the same feeling as something like the old Warcraft 3 custom maps used to give me. Using unique competitive ideas, sending monsters to an opponent, saving up for upgrades, they're all very reminiscent of some of the hero wars or tower defenses from the old Warcraft 3 days, and again, like Tetris or Puyo Puyo. It's just a really neat concept to see applied to a boomer shooter. There are definitely some areas I think can be improved upon though. For one are the menu graphics. I'm sure these are just placeholders for now, but they're pretty basic and they don't look thematically linked with each other. I also wish there was a rematch option. Every time my brother and I finished a match and wanted to go again, we had to leave the lobby, make a new lobby, re-invite each other, and then start. It's just something that I found annoying after a while. Again, I know it's an early access, but a rematch button or a re-lobby button is needed for long-time play with a friend. When the game gets going though, Return to Sender is certainly a fun and unique experience, especially if both players are playing well, moving all over, killing a lot of enemies, and getting better weapons to send more over to an opponent. I'm really interested to see where development takes this game, and I'll be following the development news surrounding it. Hopefully there will be more maps, more guns, more enemy variation, and better lobby structure in the future. And hopefully the final product will be great and take off, and a new competitive FPS genre will be born. If you have a friend and want to try something new out, definitely give Return to Sender a go. It's one of the more unique competitive shooters that I have played in a long while.